Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will be talking about neoclassical literature. Neoclassical literature was the literature of 18th century and it is a very important piece of literature in the history of England. From 1660 till 1798, approximately 150 years, is the period which is called the neoclassical period of English literature. For our convenience, we have divided this period into three eras, that is the Restoration period, the Augustan age and the age of Johnson. Neoclassical period. First of all, we will talk about the etymology of the word neoclassical or neoclassicism. Neo is a Greek term which means new, whereas classical means anything which belongs to antiquity. The writers of 18th century, they modeled their writing on the writing of ancient Greek authors like Horace, Virgil and Ovid, and hence this period is called neoclassical period. Augustan period in the history of Rome was the most cherished and the most celebrated period of literature, and because these writers went back for inspiration to the writers of Rome, this period is also designated as Augustan period, and there is a complete lack of imagination and poetry in this period, and so the third name which is given to this period is the age of prose and reason. So neoclassical period or 18th century, we can say it is called the neoclassical period, the Augustan period and the age of prose and reason. Neoclassical is the rebirth or the restoration of classicism in history of English literature. We can, for our convenience, divide this neoclassical period into three stages. The first one, Restoration period, beginning from 1660 to 1700s. Then the Augustan age. The Restoration period is also called the age of Dryden. The Augustan age or the age of Pope, beginning from 1700 to 1750. And then the third one, the age of Johnson, which roughly goes from 1750 precisely to 1785, but it extends till 1798. Important authors of the neoclassical period were John Milton, John Dryden, Alexander Pope, Jonathan Swift, Daniel Defoe and Samuel Johnson in the order of their appearance. We will talk about the various characteristics of neoclassical literature. The various characteristics of neoclassical literature are: number one, rationalism. Now, rationalism or the use of reason. This period is characterized by the use of intellect as opposed to emotions, as opposed to imagination. The writers of the Renaissance period and after the neoclassical period, the writers of Romantic period, they have given due importance to imagination and emotion in their writings. But the neoclassical writers were of the opinion that literature is something which is very serious, and so they should not give in to any kind of imagination, or they should not express any kind of emotions through their writings, and so this literature is full of rationalism. The second characteristic is didacticism. The Restoration period, that was the age of Dryden, the Restoration period wanted to restore the lost moral values of the society. The society has degraded itself, ethics were lost, And so the writers of neoclassical era, they thought that it is their moral responsibility, being writers, being intellectuals, to reform the society and to preach and teach the society through their writings. And so didacticism becomes an important feature of the Renaissance period. Realism, as opposed to the writers of the Renaissance, once again, we see that neoclassical writers are very much realistic in their approach. They were very much concerned with the problems of their society. They lived in the society and they they showed the problems that were prevalent in the society very, very sincerely. There is no element of escapism from the problems and worries of life. Rather, they thought that it is their moral responsibility that they should be realistic and they should present the society as they see it. The next one is use of scholarly allusions. Now these writers, whether it was John Dryden or Alexander Pope or John Milton or Dr. Johnson, all these writers were very, very well educated, very well read, and they had a lot of information, they had a lot of knowledge about biblical, religious and classical literature. And the use of all this knowledge, they alluded to all these knowledge that they had and used it in their writings in order to make it more clear and more appealing. Next characteristic is strict adherence to classical rules. Since these writers went back for inspiration to the classical writers of Rome and Italy, we see that these writers very strictly follow all the rules that were laid by the classical writers. They do not deviate from it. Writing within the boundaries of certain rules was a very, very important characteristic of the neoclassical period. The next one is use of heroic couplet. Heroic couplet was, given its finest presentation by these writers of neoclassical era. Especially Alexander Pope and John Dryden, they polished the heroic couplet, which had been earlier used by Geoffrey Chaucer and was also used by other writers later on. But nobody in English literature could excel Alexander Pope or John Dryden in the use of heroic couplet. They made it more flexible, they made it polished, and they made it more appealing for their writings. The next characteristic of the neoclassical era was objectivity. The writers, they thought that they should not be subjective in their writings. They should not write about themselves, but they should write from an objective point of view, because their aim was to give some kind of lesson. Their aim was to preach and teach and to reform the society. So personal indulgence of emotions was not allowed in neoclassical literature. The next characteristic is that neoclassical writing was devoid of passion or emotion. The writings of neoclassical era does not talk about emotions, does not talk about passionate indulgence. It is very, very prosaic and it is totally devoid of passion or emotions. The next characteristic is use of poetic diction. Again, the writers of the neoclassical period, they thought that the language of prose should be different from the language of poetry. There should be a demarcation line between them. And so they devised poetic diction. Again, this poetic diction is different from the poetic diction which was used by the Elizabethan writers or by the Romantic writers later on. So they used poetic diction which was very rigid. It was very rigid and it was very, very prosaic, and it was not flexible. They used particular kinds of words to be used in their poems. Imitative. Imitative is the next characteristic of the neoclassical writers. It is often said that these writers were imitative because they went back to the classicals and imitated, they took inspiration from these writers and imitated their style of writing. Okay, so most of the writing of the neoclassical writers is imitative of the classical writers. The next characteristic is devoid of imagination. Neoclassical literature totally misses on imagination. Imagination has not been given any place in their writings because imagination is something which is related to subjectivity, and these writers were totally against anything which suggested of subjectivity, emotion or imagination. Suppression of individualism. These writers do not express themselves. They do not talk about their problems, about their experiences in life. So, individualistic writing was suppressed. No expression of self was allowed in these writings, and so suppression of individualism becomes one of the chief characteristics of neoclassical writings. The next one is art for life's sake. We have two theories in literature. First is art for art's sake, and the second one is art for life's sake. These neoclassical writers, as opposed to the Elizabethan writers, they wrote or they followed the dictum of art for life's sake because they wanted to reform the society, they wanted to preach the society. They were not writing for the sake of entertainment, but they had a very important, very serious motive behind their writings. Art for art's sake means writing for the sake of creating something beautiful. So here the motive, the objective was not to create something beautiful for the sake of enjoying it, for the sake of aesthetics, but creating something which would be beneficial to the society as a whole. And then these writers followed Aristotle's notion of probabilities and unities. Aristotle in his Poetics talks about the three unities, that is the unity of time, unity of place and unity of action. Unity of time means that whatever play would be written, it should conform to a period of 24 hours. The play should begin on the single day and it should end on that day itself. Unity of place, the action of the play should be one. If it's a comedy, it should be pure comedy. If it's a tragedy, it should be pure tragedy. And unity of place, that the play should begin and end at the same place. So the neoclassical writers very religiously followed all the characteristics, all the rules and regulations that were prescribed by the classical writers of Rome and Italy, and thus produced a new type of writing which was called the neoclassical literature. Well, that's all for today. Thank you.